Almighty Father, I believe. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
You created heaven and earth. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
I believe in Jesus Christ. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
Everlasting Son of God. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe. Oh, yes, I believe in the Father and the Son.
Greetings and welcome to our platform, My Catholic Faith. I'm your presenter, Josephine Musonda. On today's episode, we focus our attention on the topic that says, Rebuild My Church. And to help us understand more about this topic, in the studio have been joined by Father Arthur NTEMBULA, who is going to take us through. I kindly invite you to join and learn with me. Father, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and warm greetings to our dear viewers as well.
Well, Father, we are grateful to have you back on our program.
Thank you.
I'm looking at the program, the topic, Rebuild My Church, and from what we've been taught, that a church is the people of God. Can you help us understand how we can connect the church, which is the people of God, to rebuilding this church?
Yeah, definitely the church is the people of God, because the church is not just, actually the church is not a building, it is the people that belong to God, the people that believe in God, the people that are guided by the Spirit of God, by the Holy Spirit, to do what they do, to carry out evangelization, to be involved in different apostolates. Now, focusing on this topic, Rebuild My Church, we want to talk about it in two terms, or in two ways. I thought we could talk about the physical church, okay? Because from the people of God, we are saying the church is not just the physical building. The church is also the community, or more so the community. So Rebuild My Church will focus a bit on the physical church, but more on the spiritual aspect of the church, on the people themselves, on the faith. And this rebuilding God's church is motivated by the instruction that St. Francis of Assisi received when he went to pray in that dilapidated church of San Damiano in Assisi. He went to pray there before the crucifix of San Damiano, and he received this instruction from God. God was showing him how ruined the church was, how dilapidated the church was, and he told him, go and reconstruct my church, go and rebuild my church. You and I know very well that in January this year, I must have been 6th January or so, the Holy Father proclaimed the Jubilee of St. Francis of Assisi as the theme for this year, especially to commemorate 800 years after the death of St. Francis of Assisi. So it's an important Jubilee, just like any other Jubilees that we have celebrated before. And so focusing on rebuilding my church is also a reflection, or a meditation on the life of St. Francis of Assisi. So Francis receives this instruction, go and rebuild my church. In fact, when he felt God talking to him in this manner, he immediately thought God was talking about the physical church. And so immediately he put himself to, he went into manual labor. He started, building the physical church. Because the church that he was in, where he went to pray, was actually dilapidated. It needed a bit of retouch here and there, makeup here and there, yes. So when he came out of that moment of prayer and he looked at the place where he was, he looked up, he saw how the roof was looking. Half of the church was this, that, and so he said, this is the instruction. God wants me to rebuild his church. So, and Francis was coming from a very wealthy family. So he decided to go and begin to sell, some of his property in order to buy building materials. And physically, he himself getting involved in rebuilding the church, which was good, which was okay. But then later, he came to understand that actually God was talking about something more than just the physical church. God was talking about the faith, the spiritual side of the church as the people of God. At that time, the church was struggling with issues of corruption. Okay, at that time, the church was struggling with, like the church had created a distance between the church and the poor. So when Francis now started understanding rebuilding God's church, as in going to build the faith, he looked at the challenges of the time, said, there is this. How can we build? Yes, we can build the physical church. I can build this small church of San Damiano. I can do this. But there's something more I need to do. So what did he do? He went and gave up his inheritance. He was coming from a rich family. He gives up his inheritance, and then he begins to now relate with the poor, the marginalized. And he said, aha, this is the church that I need to build. Reaching out to those that are ostracized, those that are pushed at the margins of society, the margins of the church. This is the church that God is asking me to build, to rebuild. Of course, his activities or his involvement in that kind of an apostolate did not sit well with the authorities of the church, but also authorities of civic leadership. But that didn't stop him until he went to Rome to meet the Pope. Must have been Innocent III, Pope Innocent III, to seek now, how can the church support what I'm doing? Okay, I don't want to delve so much into the life of St. Francis, but just to give a background of what we want to talk about. Today we see a lot of churches that are looking very beautiful. When you go on social media, you see the photos that people post of their parishes. Exactly. Our parish, yeah, LUSAKA. The churches are looking very nice, well kept and all that. But is the church also taking care of the people? The way the church is looking so nice, so beautiful, waffles with these marble, the altar, marble, everything well painted, green, evergreen, the surroundings. The way the church is looking that beautiful, which is actually very good, all the parishes must be encouraged to take care of the physical church in that manner, exactly. To be involved, yes. But are we also taking care of the faith? How many people are we baptizing? How many people are regularizing their marriages in our parishes? How many people are getting confirmed? Well, we may have a lot getting confirmed and getting baptized, but how many people of all these that are baptized and confirmed are actively getting involved in the life of the church? How many are taking up leadership roles in the church? How many are in committees to help the evangelization work or the pastoral work of the church in society? How many of all these people that we have are getting involved actively? Because people get confirmed and they begin to take back benches. They become spectators. Some of them actually, if you're a spectator, even better. Some of them even stop coming to be a spectator. They stop coming. A certificate of marriage, certificate of baptism, whatever certificate. Yes, this is what I wanted. Yes. Some of them, after suiting or blousing, whatever. Yes, this is what I wanted. Now for a uniform. Now for a suit. That's it. Then they go. They disappear. So, in as much as it is important for us to build the physical church, are we also building the spiritual church? Are we also building the faith of the people? I think for me that is most important, because you can have a very beautiful church, very well-kept church, but if there are no people, then what is it serving? Go to Europe. Most of the churches that our friends have there are very beautiful. Very nice, big churches. But how many people are there? We can count. How many people are coming for Mass? We can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chapel. Come back home here as well. We may boast of the numbers, no, the faith is what, we are growing in numbers, whatever. But of all these people that we have in our parishes, in our dioceses, in our deaneries, how many are active participants in the work of the church?
Exactly.
We have a lot that are still spectators who just come to church, they watch. They have no idea first of all, the color that we are using in church.
I don't even understand.
Yes, they have no idea whether Easter has ended, the Easter season has ended, or we're still in Easter. They have no idea when Lent is starting. They have no idea. They don't know what is going on. So they come there, they fill up the space. And when we look at the church is full. Yeah, but how much faith are we also maturing in that parish? For me, that is very important. And when you reflect on rebuilding my church, God is also through St. Francis. God is also giving us an instruction today. Look at what is going on in the parish. Look at the spirituality of the parish. Do you think you're doing fine? Go and rebuild my church.
I think, Father, this is a very big concern when we look at, from what you have explained, I would say this is a call to evangelization. And the work of evangelization, sometimes we see it happening in different groupings. But the concern is, how can people be ignorant about what is happening in the church when maybe sometimes we even belong to these league groupings? Is there anything that is being missed out from those groups, or maybe the concentration is somewhere else?
Let me begin with what you have said at the end, the concentration. Indeed, the concentration is somewhere else. When people are coming for lessons, my lessons are blousing or suiting. They are very committed. Even lessons for blessing the marriages, or lessons of catechism, like confirmation. They are very committed. You see that, because there's something that they want. Okay, so when you are teaching catechism, maybe even those of us that teach catechism, this is something important for us to question, to look at, not really to question, but to look at. Of all these people that I have in my class that come, how much impact is the faith that I'm giving them having on them? Are they just memorizing prayers?
Yes.
Or these prayers that I'm teaching them is having an impact on their personal life, on their understanding of the church? Or are they just, is it just memory? So that when they come, they go for, is it exams? Then the priest is going to be impressed that they know all the Catholic prayers. After they get that sacrament, they disappear or they become spectators. Then we didn't do our job. Because the prayers that we are teaching during catechism, the lessons, the faith, the doctrines, all these things that we are teaching during this period of formation should not just end up there for the purpose of reproducing them during the exam, during the test before the priest. So the priest is impressed that yes, abana baba Josephine balishwa fiance. But are these things that, yes, they can memorize them, but are these things sinking down into their heart so that now these people that we are forming understand the church? And when they understand the church, you know what happens after they get that sacrament? They don't disappear. After they get the sacrament, they'll come to the priest and say, Father, thank you very much. Now that I'm confirmed, or now that I've received this uniform, now that I have moved a step further in my faith, in my membership in the church and all that, what can I do? How can I be helpful? Where can you put me? We need a lot of people coming to the priest, to the parish, to offer themselves, to offer their services. Put me anywhere. Now, very few people, I mean, some do come and make that request or offer themselves. I'm available if you need me.
Yes.
But the majority, 95.9 or 99.9%, they just disappear because all they wanted was just a church uniform, all they wanted was just that sacrament, so that when they get the certificate, then they can go and get the visa to go where they are going. Or maybe when they get that sacrament, then are we building the church? The instruction to go and rebuild the church is very important. And it's not just about those who are teaching catechism. It's not just about the priests or the pastoral agents in the parishes and the dioceses. This cuts across, because even ordinary members of the church can participate in the rebuilding of the church through their active participation, through their availability, through them sharing their time and resources. They are participating in rebuilding God's church. Unfortunately, we have a lot that are still sitting back and just folding their arms.
Father, getting back to St. Francis, you did explain to say his main focus, most especially, was on the poor, where he had gone and he sort of everything that he had, he abandoned his inheritance to go and take care of the poor. Today, it's of common knowledge. Most of the people, like you are saying, they get baptized, then they just go and sit back. To some people, they would say the church today, especially maybe small Christian community, it's not embracing the poor. To be in the Christian community, it's like you are joining a Lions Club. Are we helping in rebuilding the church in this manner? Or how can a Christian community now perform in order to rebuild this church?
Let me begin from this point of view, that first of all, there is the rich tag that we need to remove from certain groupings in our church. There are some lay groups, or even some communities that carry the tag of, this is a rich group. This is a rich smoke-some community. This is where those people with money go. This is where they are. Do you know what that does to those who don't have the money? Because we are creating a barrier. We are telling them, even without saying it, we are telling them, you don't belong here. If you don't have anything in your pocket, you can't come to our camp. That's what we are doing, and it's very unfortunate. But we want to have a church that is open. If I don't have money, that should not be a hindrance. If I want to join Barejo, whether I have money, I don't have money, the door should be open for me to join them. If I want to join that smoke-some community, whether I have money or I don't have money, the door should be open. When you create a church that is open to everyone, regardless of who they are, whether they are educated or not educated, they have titles or no titles, money or no money, if we create a church that is open, that is part of rebuilding God's church. Because we are not just increasing the church in terms of numbers, we are also strengthening the faith, especially the faith of those that are defeated by life. We have a lot of people in our church, in our parishes, in our smoke-some communities, who are really defeated by life. We know them, we live with them. We know that for them to have a meal, it takes 2-3 days. For them to, we know them. But what do? We pay a blind eye. And when it comes to making these contributions, we forget that in this community, there are people who cannot afford even what the figures that we are mentioning. So they go home. First of all, they are already defeated by life. And then they begin to feel defeated by the smoke Christian community because of... Now, how do we help those to feel they are still part of us, even though they are not able to contribute? How do we help them? We need a church that is open. And we are not saying people should be saying, therefore I can't offer anything. No. I mean, everybody has something to offer. Yes. But if our focus is just going to be how this is the money that we're supposed to contribute, and everyone has to contribute, and so on and so forth. If you don't contribute, you are going to suffer consequences, whichever consequences. Yes. Picnic. We are destroying the church. We are destroying the community. Because slowly those who do not have will begin to feel out of place. They begin to backslide. They begin to disappear. And when they disappear, we will not even notice. Because first of all, we never notice their presence. So when they are not there, we don't care. Not so.
Yes.
So I want to say, those communities, smokes and communities, those lay groups that carry tags of emu abandalama. Nero muli ku chitente from beginning up to the end. Mulanda vechisungu.
Yes.
Mulanda vechisungu. That's a barrier to those that cannot speak your English, because they feel ngalande chiwemba nalande chinyanja pano nalande chilozi pano. The community has to be open in many ways, from beginning up to the end. We are chasing away people who are not able to. So we have to remove this tag of this parish is for the sum of us. No, that is wrong. This lay group is for those who have this status. Completely wrong. This smokes and community is for those. Completely wrong. These are the things that are destroying the church. Now, for us to rebuild the church, we need to break those barriers. Once we break them, everybody is going to feel they can belong anywhere they want, because their faith leads them to join that group. They feel free to join that group without even analyzing themselves. How much do I have for me to join there? The church is not a Lions Club. The church is not a social club somewhere. The church is not any of those other clubs that people join outside the church. The church is a community of believers who are united by Christ, who sit equally without titles, whatever, they sit equally before the altar to feed from the same table, to feed from the same plate and cup. That is what makes the church. And this church is full of sinners. They are all sinners. That is why they are sitting before Christ to receive the grace of forgiveness. But if this group now begins to form factions, we are destroying what is supposed to be building us. When St. Francis of Assisi receives that instruction, yes, for him he understands it as build the physical church. We can build the physical church. But later he understands there's something more that he needs to do to build the spiritual church, to build the faith. And that is what the church, even today, needs to be focusing on, especially. Because a beautiful church, a beautiful parish, physical parish, without the people, is just a hole. It's just nothing. It's just like any other place. The church is the people of God.
Father, one would say, maybe that is a way of encouraging some people who have deliberately become lazy. They don't want to work. You find that every day from morning to evening, they just found a church trying to do some work here and there, and all they can wait for is so maybe, would you think that is a way of encouraging those who are deliberately becoming lazy?
Well, if there's somebody out there that is deliberately becoming lazy, we can also address them. I mean, how do you deliberately become lazy? That is also something bad, something that we need to discourage. There are people who are just lazy, like you are saying, lazy. So they don't want to work, they don't want to do anything. After all, when I go to Kuliwa Father Kuya, balampela kwa kushitobu. When I go Kuliwa St. Vincent de Paul, balampela ko indirection na punishi phone na puni Stika Sophia, balampela kwa kasapato. Yeah, and then their life becomes just a life of asking for alms, even when they can do something for themselves in order to. We can address them also. We can tell them no, that is wrong, and those do not even qualify to be among the poor that we're talking about. The poor that we're talking about are those that try to better their lives, but the opportunities are not there. The resources are not coming, so they find themselves not having meals, not having good clothes, not having a proper shelter. They go out to look for something the whole day. Some of them are busy. They are trying to work, but then maybe 50 they come back home. The money that they have cannot even make a meal for 6 people at home. Those are the people that we are saying the church needs to reach out. And indeed, the church has done tremendous job in many ways, reaching out to those people. And that is not even to say that the church has done enough. The church has not done enough. The church needs to do more. The church needs to reach out more and more, because the number of the poor in our communities keeps multiplying. So the church needs to do more and more. those who have been blessed by God, how do they participate in the work that the church is doing? They can bring their resources. Say, I have these extra resources. The church can use this to reach out to those. The church, like the apostles did, will collect all these resources together and redistribute them to the people in the community. That is how those who would be participating in the mission of the church of reaching out to the poor. St. Francis of Assisi had to give up all the riches that he had for him to bridge that gap between the church and the poor. And even today, those who follow the spirituality of St. Francis, the Franciscans of different orders, this is at the core of their charism, identifying themselves with those that are lowly of society, reaching out to them whenever they can and whenever it is possible. There's another aspect I wanted us to focus on as we look at the topic, rebuilding my church, rebuild my church, reconstruct my church. Francis was not only identifying himself with the poor, because he also fell in love with nature. He fell in love with what we see around, you know, brother sun, sister moon. He fell in love with the trees. He looked at all these things around as an expression of God's presence. All these are God's creatures. The tree is a God's creature. And when you look at that tree, you're looking at the creator. You're looking at the person or the hand that created that tree. And I think that is a beautiful way of looking at the environment, even during our times. Sometimes, not sometimes, but many times, we do abuse nature. We do abuse our environment. And you know what happens when the environment is abused? It reacts, you know. It has a way of reacting. When nature is abused, it has a way of reacting. We talk about climate change.
Yes.
That is nature reacting, because climate change did not fall from the heavens or from the blues. Climate change was caused by the irresponsibility of a human being. And we are still doing that as human beings, abusing nature. I think we need to begin to change, first of all, the way we look at nature today. And if we reflect on the life of St. Francis, he helps us to have that shift in the way we look at nature. We look at nature as our sister, as our brother. The same way that I would take care of you, the same way that I should take care of the environment around me. Because if I abuse this environment, in the end, I'll be the one to suffer.
Exactly.
It is going to react and the consequences will be adverse. So, rebuilding my church also has everything to do with taking care of the surroundings at the parish. Take care of the surroundings of the parish. Lay groups, smoke some communities, adopt portions at the parish.
Exactly.
Flowers. The parish should look attractive. The parish should look nice. Not yo mkwai pano, mkwai nififi nekabiri mwalishi wafye kununa menshari shupa kuno so kutapirisha awe. There's something that we can do to beautify the surroundings. Look at that nature, smile at it so that it smiles back at you. Take care of it so that it takes care of you as well. Because some of our parishes are Josephine. Bulanda bushala. Ma flowers yaliuma, ulumkoto paba. Ulukungalo imapansa kuingira na mnani kana nakukula mbo kwanza kufika. The parish is looking so dirty. And when you get there, you're like, tapaba bantu pano. You know? Ushefino tusunga parish na kunganda. Efo chaba, efo tuikala. We can do more. We can do better. Let us, each member of the parish, every member of the parish should feel personally responsible for the surrounding of the parish. Go asanga akapepala kama jigis kalipanshi. You don't go like tenem posele.
Exactly.
You pick it up. That's what it means to be responsible. You pick it up and throw it where it's supposed to be. Wasanga, let us take care of the parishes. And that is how we allow nature to take care of us as well in our parish environments. So rebuilding my church is not just about the physical church. It is also about taking care of the surroundings, but more so taking care of the faith of the people.
I think that's
if that makes sense.
Very much, and quite challenging, most especially the last point you've talked about on taking care of the environment. Most of us are quite lazy when it comes to doing works at church. We want to be there to sing, to do what, but when they call us to come and do the work, we know of some churches that are quite looking dirty outside. Thank you for that awakening word. Your words of appeal as we close the topic.
Me, I want to appeal, first of all, even before I say what you want me to say.
Yes.
I want to make an appeal, especially to the young people. Ngakudama singing festivals, the young people are full at the parish.
Yes.
They are in huge numbers singing festivals. When these young people are going out for picnics, oh my God, you see even those that you have not seen in a long time. Yes. They are there. They are there. They have paid in full. When there are these social activities, the young people are there. But make an announcement in church and say, next Saturday, all the young people should come and clean the church and water the whatever and do some manual work at the parish. You can literally count how many are going to come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Chapwa. Are these the only young people that we have in the parish? Certainly not. What are their priorities? How do they understand? What is the church to them? The church, is it just singing festivals or is it just picnics, going out to visit that other parish? What is the church to them? I think that there's need, maybe we don't really need to blame them so much, but maybe we have not done much in terms of forming them.
Yes,
so that they understand what it means to belong to a parish, to be a member of the parish and to take care of the parish.
Father, I'll take that as a challenge. For now, your concluding remarks.
Rebuild my church. This instruction was given to St. Francis of Assisi, as we said at the beginning, but this same instruction is coming to you and I. It is coming to all of us to take care not only of the physical space, but most importantly of the people of God, the people that come there, their faith. So for me, it's a very striking, and I want to thank the Holy Father for bringing this theme, for allowing us to walk through the life of St. Francis of Assisi and identifying ourselves with the values that he stood for, the values that govern this faith, so to say. And this is what we need to have also in our parishes, especially, or in our small communities. Rebuild, reconstruct my church. Go and rebuild that church. Go and take care of the faith of the people. Go and take care of the physical church. The parish must look nice. The surroundings must look nice. But beautiful surroundings, beautiful church, without faith, without the people, it is just a beautiful place.
Well, Father, thank you so much for the words that you have shared with us. It has been quite a very educative topic. And as I said, challenge that has been posed to us.
Okay.
We wish even next time we'll continue and learn more about how to rebuild this church.
Exactly.
Well, our dear viewer, we have come to the end of the program. This had been My Catholic Faith, and we were looking at rebuilding the church. From what Father has explained, I guess you have gotten what you and myself are supposed to do. From me, Josephine Sonda, on behalf of Father Arthur NTEMBULA and the entire crew in the studio, we just wish you God's blessings. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mighty Father, I believe. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
You created heaven and